In today's video, we will be discussing 5 youth worker interview questions. But before we do, just a quick disclaimer. These questions are not guaranteed to be asked at your interview. I've pulled all of today's questions and answers from our website, mockquestions.com, where we have hired almost 100 different professional interviewers to create all of our interview questions and answer examples. So in this video, we will dive into what I believe are our 5 best youth worker interview questions with answer examples. Let's get started. Question 1. Tell me about a time when you had to make a difficult decision. As a youth worker, you must provide the utmost care to the underage individuals for whom you are responsible. In addition to attentive care, you will need to make challenging decisions focused on the well-being of these youth. Your supervisor may not always be around to help you deal with stressful situations, and in those times, it will be your responsibility to handle conflict as it arises. Show the interviewer that you can make wise decisions under pressure. Provide an example that demonstrates your ability to navigate situations by trusting your gut and taking action. Here's an answer example from our website. While working alone at a drop-in youth center, an intoxicated adult entered the center and was unaware as to where he was. To keep the youth safe, I asked them to gather into the supervisor's office and take turns singing karaoke on the computer. I instructed them to stay in the supervisor's office until I returned. The doors to the office could lock, and the office was primarily windows so I could keep a close eye on the youth while I dealt with this individual. While getting the kids organized, I called for help. I decided that I needed to distract the individual and keep him calm until help arrived. I made him a cup of tea and carried on conversation until help arrived. After the incident, I had a debrief session with the youth, and we talked about safety, how they felt, and if we could have handled the situation any differently. The kids said they felt safe. After consulting with my supervisor, they agreed that under the circumstances, I handled the difficult situation with success. Question 2. How do you envision your career growth over the next 5 years? The interviewer wants to understand your most meaningful goals related to growing your career as a youth worker. Highlight your professional goals while expressing your long-term interest in the organization. If you are not clear on where you want to be in 5 years, your goals can be as simple as wishing to learn more about youth program management, facilitation, or the fact that you want to earn your way into a role with more responsibilities over time. Think about some of the steps you'll need to take to reach your career goals. Identify how this position will equip you to gain the skills and experience necessary to achieve those long-term goals. Over the coming years, I envision myself working as a frontline field worker with high-risk youth while continuing my education. This blend of work and education appeals to me because I strive to gain on-the-job experience while also balancing this experience with education-based knowledge. I have a diploma in counseling, which has allowed me to apply for this role with confidence. I would like to further my education to include a degree in a related field. By continuing my education and working in tandem, I will gain the best of both worlds, ensuring stronger career growth with your agency now, in 5 years, and for the long term. Question 3. How do you respond when you notice signs of drug abuse or other destructive behavior? Part of your responsibility as a youth worker is to pay attention to signs of abuse and destructive behavior. You need to know what to look out for so that you can step in to help the youth in your care in an appropriate manner. When a situation is past the point of prevention, you'll also need to know how to respond. Your reply will depend on the level of care that the hiring institution offers and will also depend on whether the center is a dry facility or a rehabilitation center. When you answer this question, take a thoughtful, proactive approach. Show the interviewer that you come prepared for these types of situations. If you're not quite sure what to do, reflect on your education and volunteer experience. It is very typical to see high-risk youth who display this behavior, and is exactly the reason why I do what I do, the best way that I can. The trick in working with youth is to help them see that they are worth more to themselves, clean and sober, and when they are not self-harming. When they come to our center for help, they have often lost that sense of self or it has been taken away from them. In my current role, we are a dry facility, so I follow the guidelines and procedures as policy dictates. But I believe I can do this with the least amount of confrontation and judgment. Question 4. What ideas do you have to improve our youth programs? Youth workers are often responsible for guiding and facilitating participation-based programs, including prevention and intervention programs. These programs could be centered around health and fitness or supporting youth who may be at risk of gang involvement, drugs, or violence. Before your interview, Do your research and learn as much as you can about the organization and their needs when it comes to youth programming. You'll want to know about the client demographic they serve and the types of programs that support those groups. If you have facilitated group activities in the past, you can draw from that experience and talk about any relevant program experience. At the same time, remain aware that the interviewer probably does not want you to come in guns a-blazing with a multitude of changes and recommendations. It's essential to take a humble approach based on observations. Before I deliver ideas on improving a program or organization, I like to work there for a while and become a contributing member of the team. With this approach, I can see what is working and where my experience or education can best contribute. We hope these questions and answers helped you prepare for your upcoming interview. If you would like to practice more questions, remember to visit our website in the link below. Thank you.